appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Just to ask, Mr. President, if you allow me to answer. You know, I feel painful about, the families of 9/11 in America, but, we have to focus on reality. Reality based on CIA documents and based on a lot of documents that Osama bin Laden, he used Saudi people in that event for one main purpose, is to destroy this relation, to destroy the American-Saudi relation. About the journalists, it's really painful to hear anyone that been losing his life for no real purpose or not in a legal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc., in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Well, that was part of the exchange. There was a bit more in that press conference as well. Mark Stone has more now from DC.
Well, certainly the moment where the Crown Prince was asked about Jamal Khashoggi and his murder 7 years ago was a standout moment. It was awkward and it was telling. We'll come to that in a moment. But I think more broadly, what we got today, certainly from the American president, who did much of the talking, was kind of a glimpse of the moment that Donald Trump currently finds himself in, which is a tricky place. He is at a tricky place for a number of reasons. One, it is clear from the elections in New York and in New Jersey and in Virginia a few weeks ago that voters are unhappy with him. Although that wasn't a proper referendum of his leadership, it certainly gave a hint, and they're unhappy because of the economy. They do not feel they are doing very well at the moment. And then combine that with the fact that his own side, whether it's to do with the Epstein files or other things, they are frustrated with him as well, that the MAGA crowd down the road on Capitol Hill are not happy with him at the moment. And that, I think, is why he spent much of that news conference talking about the economy, about inflation, about how things are getting better, about how people are not feeling it, but trust me, he kind of said, things are better. He's talking about it still being Biden's economy when actually it is clearly now his economy. He wanted to do all that, and of course that was awkward because he was sitting next to a very wealthy leader from a country far, far away, and many of his own base are saying, what are you doing fraternizing with someone who we just don't care about? We don't understand what all that's about. It's a long way away. You should be concentrating at home, which again explains why he was trying to remind people that Saudi money invested in the United States is very important indeed. And that's where MBS came in, because Mohammed bin Salman was keen to point out that he was willing to invest not $600 billion in the United States, but $1 trillion in the United States. Mind-boggling numbers. That may well be meaningless, but they certainly sound good, and they help Donald Trump, who is under pressure at the moment. They help him. So those are the kind of the headlines that the two sides would want to come out of this. But it was another moment that I think will capture the headlines. Jamal Khashoggi is the Washington Post reporter who was murdered in Istanbul 7 years ago. Not just murdered, but his body then dismembered. Now the CIA and other intelligence agencies concluded that that murder was carried out on the orders of the Saudi Crown Prince, of Mohammed bin Salman. He has always denied that, although he has said in the past that he accepts ultimate responsibility, but says he did not call for the murder to happen.